Hello, More here, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. Today we're going to do a little bit of different video. We're going to have a conversation about the current fusion going on, about the Mossbeard guy. I can't even say the first part of his name, but we're going to talk about it, and we're going to kind of see just where he might be beneficial in the game, and just why the other content creators have kind of like thrown him on the wayside and said he's not valuable, he's not good, and almost he's not worth the effort to go for it, right? And at the end of the video, I'm going to submit to you, I'm going to submit to the community a potential team and location where he might be beneficial in the game, that he might be worth going for. But I want you to judge on it, and maybe you guys can take it to the big content creators and they can put the team together, because I don't have the champions to do it. See you there. All right, now, so Gorptuk Mossbeard, however you actually say this guy's name, he is the current legendary fusion for the game, and is he worth it? A lot of the big content creators say he's not. Say he's not going to improve their game, he's not improve your teams almost anywhere. They've tried him, they've built him, they've taken him to 60, they've mastered him, and he just does not fit anywhere in their team compositions. Now, granted, remember, they are all fully in game, so it's not just trying to get him to fit properly or get him to help their account. It's them trying to replace somebody who's already established on their rosters and on their teams in whatever content they're trying to put him in. However, though, I feel he does have a niche that he can fit in, a very specific kind of content or style of team that he can definitely fit in. So let's kind of recap what his kit is, so we can kind of explain that before we get into the idea of that team I was talking about. So his 8-1 attacks one enemy 2 times, places a 15% continuous heal buff for 1 turn on all allies under a poison debuff. Okay, not cool, decent idea. His A2 removes all debuffs from an ally, only one ally, then heals them by 30% of their max HP, and places a shield buff on the target equal to 20% of their max HP. So not too bad. So especially if there's a champion that's kind of low when this happens to them, they get a 30% heal, then a 20% shield. So they kind of get like a 50% heal in general, in essence, because that shield's got to get taken out before the HP can be hit. You book him out and he gets a 5 and a 10%, so a total of a 15% increase to both the heal and the shield. Now remember, let me explain that again. I've already done a video on this and I showed you the numbers. I'll link that up there in a card so you can go check that out and actually get more into depth in the weeds about it. But those books are a multiplicative bonus, not an additive bonus. So it does not become a 45 and a 35. Rather, you take the 30% of the heal of their max HP, and then that value of the heal, you multiply that by 15%, and that becomes the heal you get now. Same with the shield. So now this is where things get weird with this guy, right? His A3 places three 5% poison debuffs on all allies for 3 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted or blocked. Also, an 80% chance of placing a block buffs debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Okay, so this is where it gets weird. You're putting poisons on your team for some reason, right? So why would you want to do that? That's very interesting. It's a very unique style of gameplay. Granted, it does put a block buffs debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. You book it out. Granted, legendary books are very hard to come by. I understand that, especially for the free-to-play players. But if you book it out down to a 3-turn cooldown for a 2-turn debuff to last on all the enemies, and a block buffs debuffs is pretty valuable. More valuable, I think it's a very underrated debuff that a lot of people do not take into consideration or really hold much value for. But his passive, once you can unlock it, once you ascend him 3 times, allies under poison debuffs inflict 7.5% more damage for each poison debuff on them, stacking up to a maximum of 30%. I wish that stacked even higher. This damage increase applies to all of their skills. Period. All of their skills. Also, will increase each ally's resistance by 15 for each poison debuff on them. Okay. Now it makes a little more sense why there's an A3 that puts poisons in everybody on the team, right? So he's putting poisons on everybody on the team, And then he's got a passive that then amplifies the damage that a person gets when they have poisons on them. Okay, cool. It also amplifies how much resistance they have, so it makes it harder for the enemy to put poisons on them. So whether you're in the arena or in the dungeon somewhere against some kind of composition that deals poisons or deals other debuffs, whether it be defense down, attack down, provokes, anything like that, this is going to help it make harder for them to actually apply those debuffs against your team. Also, he's got a passive, increases ally resist in all battles by 50. That's a pretty decent size resist increase, and it's in all battles, which is pretty nice, pretty handy little aura. Let me go in, because I was actually in the fusion when I was looking at him there. Let me go to the index here. Let me actually go and look and see just, you know what, we went through his kit, but what does his base stats when he's actually level 60 look like? So he's got 18, almost 19,000 HP. That is not very high, especially for a legendary champion. His attack is only 1,000. His defense is 1,200, 1244. That's fair. Nothing to write home about. His speed is only 100. Okay, cool. Crit rate 15, crit damage 50. I believe that crit damage is a little bit higher than normal. Let's check it out. No, it's not. Sorry. Well, his crit damages are great. That was awesome. So his resistance is 50. That's where it is. He gets a bonus to resistance. His resistance is 50 compared to the typical 40 you're going to find on most champions. Accuracy is still only 0. You do need accuracy for that block buffs debuff. So if you do want to use that in the kit, if you're trying to use him, then yes, that's going to be beneficial there. And I do suggest if you do go for this guy, you want to use him because there is a place in the game that he will be beneficial for you. And so that team I was talking about, oh, real quick, what kind of gear would you want to put on this guy, right? So he has got a kit designed to put poisons on your team, right? He's got an A1 that will put continuous heal buffs on your champions if they've already got poisons on them, right? And this is just a chance, right? So I'm not sure. I didn't test it because I don't have him. Stu tried to test him. I think he said only places 1. However, attacks one enemy 2 times. That's only going to put 1 continuous heal buff. I was thinking it was going to put 2, but it's only going to put 1 on there. So really, my thinking for this guy, for this champion, what you would want to do is you want to maximize how many times he takes a turn, right? Because this A3 right here, it is on a 3-turn cooldown if you book it up, and the debuffs do last for 3 turns. However, it's not a poison. It's not an automatic that's going to happen on every turn. This A1, however, will put a continuous heal buff on the entire team every time he attacks with it. So every time he uses it. So really, I would say probably if you have the ability to do it, put him in HP Immortal gear. Put him in Immortal gear. Sorry, not Immortal. Wow. Relentless gear. It's a little early in the morning, right? Put him in HP Relentless gear so that way he can actually has a chance to proc extra turns, take extra turns, hit that A1 again, hit that A1 again. Next thing you know, you have 2, 3 continuous heal buffs on everybody on the team. Those continuous heal buffs are going to negate and counter the damage effects of those poisons, which is pretty handy. So I would suggest to put him in Relentless gear with the HP boost, so actually it can maximize how much poisons it can actually withstand before it becomes a problem. So where would you think this guy would be helpful with, right? Where would this guy be good at? So he maximizes poisons. He takes advantage of poisons on champions, amplifies their damage, amplifies their resist because of how many poisons he has on the team. He has on each individual champion. So where in the game do we deal with a lot of debuffs and poisons in general on champions? It could be in the arena, a lot of debuffs on champions, but not so much specifically poisons, not in the arena. Arena is going to be defense down, attack down, stuff like that, not poisons and HP burn. You can think Spider Dens. Spider Den is not a bad place. Spiderlings will do a lot of poisons on champions. However, it's only specifically to one specific champion because they're only going to be targeting one until that one's dead, usually in general, right? So I don't think it's either one of those. I don't think it's even Clan Boss. Clan Boss could potentially because he's going to put it on himself, and that's really about it. However, I do think the Void Keep. It's not open right now, so I can't get into it, can't show you the gameplay at all. However, I think the Void Keep is going to be where he will shine. The Void Keep, the boss himself has got an ability where he puts 2 poisons on everybody on the team like a Bad Alcazar, right? So whenever that skill comes around, he puts 2 points. I think it's on like a 2-turn or 3-turn cooldown. He puts them on for like 4 turns or some nonsense like that, right? So he has the ability to actually put like a total 4 poisons on your team before he does this massive skill, which is very similar to a seer. And he will take the debuffs off and then deal you damage based on how many debuffs he removes. So he's got a decent little kit. It's very difficult sometimes, so you really want to come in there with a cleanse, right? Or come in there with a Moss Beard. A Moss Beard is designed to amplify the damage you put against the boss based on the amount of poisons they have, right? So if the boss puts poisons on you, then Moss Beard puts more poisons on you. Next thing you know, you're doing 30% more damage and you have a ton extra resistance as well. So I think that's where he is designed to be built in and designed to be used. However, you need to bring a team with him, right? So here's that team I was talking about. Let's go into the index and we break down and show you the team mates and the champions I propose to be paired with him because I think they're going to be beneficial. I'm going to start with probably an obvious choice that a lot of people are thinking about, Occult Brawler. Occult Brawler is a poison specialist, one of the best poisoners in the game, especially when it comes to Clan Boss. His A1 deals poisons. He also has a passive that deals poisons against the enemy and himself. Sounds very familiar, right? Poisons on himself every turn. Poisons from Mossbeard every other 3 turns, So there's a theme here, right? Putting poisons on each other, putting poisons on yourself. I do think that Plarium's got an idea that they're going to be bringing out more champions in the future designed around this concept about putting debuffs on themselves and then using that as an advantage to amplify their abilities against the enemy. It's an interesting idea. I like the concept. It's very strategic and thought through. You got to think it through. You got to put it together. You got to plan it. You can't just throw some champions together and make it work. It's got to be planned. You need specific champions, and I like that concept. And I think they're going to be doing more with that. And Occult Brawler was the start. Mossbeard is adding to it, and I like it. So, but why would it be beneficial to Occult Brawler? Occult Brawler is his A2 right here. The more debuffs he has on him when he uses this, the better it's going to be, in my opinion. Actually, it's going to change. So, my opinion, the best one is he have 5 or more debuffs on him. What is going to happen is he's going to remove the debuffs and he's going to do something, and something different every single time based on how many debuffs he removes. If he removes 5 debuffs, then that's going to be an extra turn for him. An extra turn for that passive right here to apply a poison against the enemy. So if you're against the boss, say that Void boss, and he has 5 poisons on him, 3 from Mossbeard, 6 poisons, 3 from Mossbeard, 1 from himself, and 2 from the Void boss, boom, next thing you know, he's taking an extra turn, and you just put 2 poisons on the enemy boss as well. So I think it's a good idea. I think it's a very good pair. It's an obvious fit for him as well. So, and mindful, he's got a 20,000 HP base on him, and he's technically an HP-based champion. However, his damage is based on attack, which is not cool. So, who else would we put with him? Let's go into the Skinwalkers. I think the next one that would be good for him would actually be Hackhorn Smashlord. He's an HP-based legendary champion as well, but he is HP-based with a 20,790 base HP. He's got a good, high, healthy HP base, and all his damage is based off of HP. His A1 and his his A3 are all based off of HP. So the more HP on him, the more he scales, and he's got an aura that increases HP by 33% in the dungeons as well. So, excuse me, he's got an AoE that deals damage based on HP. However, it sacrifices his HP. So even if he has a shield on him, it's going to sacrifice 50% of his max HP, deal him that damage into him, and it will kill him if he's below 50% HP, which is not cool. But it deals damage equal to that HP, which is pretty nice. And why am I saying HP? Why do you want to use HP champions based teamed with Mossbeard? Because you want the HP to be able to negate the effects of those poisons. Yes, the poisons is a percentage based on your HP. I get it. However, you cannot stack defense because the poisons will ignore your defense. You want to stack HP so that you can also reduce damage that you're going to get from the actual champions that you're fighting as well, and have the HP to absorb their damage additionally too. So you want HP and you want shields to minimize the effects of those poisons and make it easier and more efficient for your team to actually survive. So I say Smash is a good idea because an HP-based champion, HP scales off of his damage scales off of HP. So he scales off his max HP, and then you add that poison amplification, and he just deals more damage in general. So, and then his A2. His A2 removes all debuffs and then heals everybody on the champion by a portion of his current HP, and then it amplifies how much damage heal he does based on how many debuffs he actually removes, you guys. So, and that additional heal is based off of his max HP. So, for example, let's say he's got 100,000 HP, right? 100,000 max HP, and he's at, say, 100,000, right? So his first heal is going to be a 15% of that, which is going to be 15,000 HP. He removes 6 debuffs off champions, and it ends up being another 60,000 HP heal. That's a massive heal, and you pair him with Mossbeard, who's going to put at least 3 debuffs on everybody on the team. This heal is an allied team heal as well, so everybody on the team gets that heal, and those 3 debuffs, that's an extra 30% hit with his max HP. That is a massive heal that you are guaranteed to square up and run with, and that is just awesome. And plus, also additionally, he can apply a block debuffs buff for 2 turns, so afterwards, the next time Mossbeard does that, you're going to block those debuffs and prevent it from happening. Next time that Void boss goes to do the poisons on you, he's going to block them and keep them from happening as well. So Smash is another must to go with him as well. The next champion I'm thinking, that's going to be 3 champions now, right? That's Moss, that's Occult Brawler, and that's Smash Lord. Smash Lord is my nickname for him. That's not really his actual name. No, Smash Lord isn't real name. Smash a Lot is what I love to call him. All right, the next one's going to be, in my opinion, another obvious choice, right? So HP and Shields, right? HP and Shields is what I was talking about, right? So who better than Miscreated Monster? HP-based champion, 22,900, another 23,000 based HP damage, HP-based champion. However, all his damage again is based off of HP. He's got stuns and he's got shields. He's got this AoE ability on a 3-turn cooldown that puts his shield for 3 turns on everybody on the team based on 25% of the damage he deals to everybody on the enemy team. It's an AoE ability, and it puts big shields on people. So you put the big shields, stack it with the poisons, the shields absorb the damage from the poisons. Mossbeard puts continuous heals on you whenever you have poisons on him, so therefore they actually counteract and negate that effect as well. So the shields help you not actually take damage from Mossbeard, but then Mossbeard's poisons passive allows you to deal more damage. I like it. So what would be the 5th champion? The 5th champion, in my opinion, is kind of a wild card. A champion, let's see, where is she? I was thinking of somebody specifically. Honestly, I am not too familiar. I'm pretty sure she works with debuffs, but I need to go find her. She an horde, an undead. I don't see her. That's not cool. So one more try. I don't think she's an orc. That's the problem. There she is. Seer. Her Karma Burn removes all buffs from all enemies and allies and enemies, then attacks all enemies. No, unfortunately, this does not work with debuffs. I thought it did for some reason. It only works with buffs. So, unfortunately, Seer's not going to work for that. So, who do you think would be that 5th person on the team for that Void boss, right? Who would be that 5th person, that wild card? Put it down in the comments. Let me know who you think it's going to be. So, I submit this team to you. Mossbeard, Smash, Miscreated Monster, Occult Brawler, and the 5th person is probably something to do some kind of debuffing, defense down, attack down. It's like a Madame Cirrus or a Tyrell or a Stag Knight, something along those lines, right? Somebody's got a multiple one, or a Rosin or a Dracomorph, something along those lines that would be beneficial to make your team do more damage against the enemy, right? So that's what I was thinking. Not positive who it would be. Who do you think it'll be? Also, I submit to you that team, give it to the big content creators. Reach out to them, tell them about it, and ask them, hey, can you do this for us? Do a video for us. Let us know what it's going to be, what it looks like, and I would love to see that video. And I appreciate your support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That's going to be right here on the screen. Otherwise, check out the next video coming up, and I will see you in the next video.